and the deputy and his deputy are from the same constituency. Does that hold waters in law? As a lawyer, can you please tell me, does that hold waters?
Well, if I may say, I do not think that's one of the bases of any decision, as far as I know, in respect of the election petition in Abia, both at the tribunal level and at the Court of Appeal level. But I know as a fact that it's a campaign issue and it's a political issue as to whether the propriety of two persons coming from the same zone now becoming the governor and deputy governor in Abia State, despite the little attempt to change the geographical location of the principal. But it wasn't an issue at the election tribunal, and I know that it was not made an issue. The basic contest arose from who scored the majority of lawful votes. And I can't imagine any other formula, any other platform that could be used to determine who, out of the two contending parties, actually had the majority of lawful votes, if not the election tribunal. In fact, to do away with the election tribunal would be an invitation to anarchy. It would be like going back to the days of yore when might was right. Despite the different perceptions, like use the case of Abia, I know that at the end of the decision at the Court of Appeal, there was this massive protest against it. Well, those are backlashes that come with when people perceive that a judgment has gone in a way they do not like. And it's a common thing across the world. Even in America, some decisions, when they go against black people, in cases of real oppressiveness, you see the people run into the street. It doesn't detract from the beauty, from the lawfulness, or from the propriety of that structure that is used to determine who, at the end of the day, is the lawful winner of the election.
Okay, if going by that, the second one that I want to put to you here, it's us saying, because of the five-man panel judges, and you're stating that 4 of the judges were from Lagos. How does that hold waters? Does that invalidate their rulings?
Well, I know that the chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Senator Manwaka, were acting on behalf of the party, a petition complaining about the selection of the panel that sat at the Court of Appeal Owerri, that they came from one division. The 4 came from one division and only one was from a different, contrary to the practice, which we've all known, that you take them from different divisions and they all come together. He lodged that protest. Nothing has been said about it. Again, let me say this, because so much is misconceived in the media. You see, justice is embedded in the faith of the people in the system. If right-thinking men go away from the courts thinking that justice was not done, then you can take it that such riots we experience in Abia State will always be.
But since he raised the Abia tribunal as a case in point, I thought he was going to start out from the other cases we look at. But since he raised down, there were allegations of evidences that were overlooked at the tribunal level. Now, if you say the tribunal needs to remain in place because it's what helps to ensure that the winner or whoever it is that's supposed to be the winner gets the prized possession at the end of the day, how is it then that evidences would be overlooked and you still say the tribunals should stay?
Well, you see, let us take it this way. Every court has the inherent jurisdiction to sieve through the evidence presented and determine the ones that are relevant and the ones that are irrelevant.
Is there a criteria for determining which one is relevant and which is not?
For instance, a court should not take hearsay evidence. A court should act on for instance, public documents should be a certified true copy of public documents. In that of Abia, the main issue, the lower tribunal said that Pt.2, who was at the collecting center, that his evidence was not believable considering the fact that he wasn't at the unit level to testify on what happened at the unit. And that since overvoting is done at unit levels, that you cannot now, at collation center level, decide to exclude results that were duly collected at unit levels. And I make this point, and it's important we understand this, that at the lower tribunal, Pt.2 presented his evidence as seen at the collection center. Pw19 from INEC presented the evidence of the card reader alleging overvoting. The lower tribunal, in its wisdom, and which I agree, relying on the fact that you can only determine overvoting at unit levels, that is where voting takes place. Voting is done at unit level. Based on that, refused to nullify the results in an entire local government. Now, note that there was no allegation that there were overvoting in all the units in the local government. The collation at the local government, they said it was over the number of voters. But there was no evidence laid as to those units which you will now exclude. So in that respect, the lower tribunal did not discountenance those votes. But at the Court of Appeal, they did. And that is the grounds that how can you now disenfranchise 3 local governments in a state that it is, if you disenfranchise the units, if you determine the units where the overvoting took place and excluded them, it would have been a different thing. But to now lump Tom and Jerry together, punish them together, irrespective of the role played, is an improper judicial process.
Okay, Lateef, let me bring this one to you here. If you say that the petition rulings, election petition rulings, will not be good for our jurisprudence, why exactly do you say it will not be good for our jurisprudence?
I didn't say it won't be good. I thought you said a travesty of justice. I said no, It's not a travesty of justice.
Okay. It's
not, because that's why I use this Abia as a case study. That the judges, I'm not defending the judges here, but going by the rule of law, the judges work with evidence, work with facts and evidence. They don't just bring up things, they don't crop up things like that. They're supposed to use their discretion in most cases.
Okay, so what do you think about what happened in Rivers State?
Yeah, what happened in Rivers State still has to do with the evidences led before the courts. There were facts, there were evidences. And that's what the judges ruled upon.
Okay,
I believe there should be a rerun.
Okay, before we do that, let me just see if I can take in 1 or 2 comments, because we need to take a quick break. Ajala Dick says, different rulings by different courts using same constitution and electoral act is quite confusing. Ahmed says, the election petition tribunal ruling shows that our democracy is ready for true operation and bound to be checked. Tilino says, too many tribunal hearings indicate a sick electoral system. I guess you don't agree with that. Kola Ayantola says, he's asking if you are an arbitrator or you're supposed to answer a question. Well, you want to answer him, or we'll go a break and come back?
No, I'm ready to answer my question. Let me throw the question.
We'll take a moment, and when we come back, Lateef will be ready to answer some of those questions that will be thrown in by Ukbai. Don't go away.